When our kids are little, they're toddlers or they're babies, mothers in particular, particularly have this obsession of overly beautifying their children, especially when they're girls. We like to wear, have like nice bows on their no head, hair head, nice dress and pretty socks and pretty shoes and poor babies, they wear them until they're toddlers. And when they're toddlers, we try to do the same thing with them over and over again. Um, so today's video's topic is um, don't be obsessed with um, beautifying your kids. Children are comfortable and they're happy when they're comfortable. They don't care about dresses or wearing jewelries or wearing headbands and pretty bows in their hair. Girls particularly, boys similarly, they don't want to wear jeans or nice button-down shirts. Instead, they would like to have a t-shirt and maybe sweatshirt, shorts and sweatpants depending on the season. Same thing with the girls. When they're little, they like to have t-shirts and sweatpants or jeans on, and they're happy. And if you ever notice the mothers who have young kids or who've had young kids, once we dress up our children, they look at themselves in the mirror and then they smile. That means they like themselves the way they look. So who are they to impress? Of course, the children of their age. And all the kids at their age, they most probably are going to be dressed in the same way. We aunties and uncles and moms and dads who bring our kids with them, we don't even pay attention to other people's children if we are honest to each other. Um, and our kids don't want to impress all those aunties and uncles and even their parents. So let your kids dress up the way they want to dress up. Long time ago, I had this obsession too when my daughter was younger. First of all, she was a girl, and second, she was my first child. So, as a normal mother, I would, of course, buy lots of dresses for her, lots of bows for her head, nice, pretty ponies, and nice pair of shoes, and different color socks, and lots of pinks and purples, because that was very in back in the days. My daughter was a very tomboy. She hated color pink. She did not like Disney princess. She never even watched Disney movies. She had no interest in it. उसको बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं थी वो. उसको बस ये होता था कि मैं एक टी शर्ट पहन लूँ और साथ शॉर्ट्स और जीन्स पहन लूँ और वो सारा दिन. If her father is mowing the lawn, she will go out and walk with him. She had her own little fake lawnmower that she would use, which would just blow bubbles, and she thought she was doing all the work, and she was happy doing all that. तो मेरी और उसकी अक्सर इस बात पे मैं उसको बहुत डांटती थी जब वो छोटी होती थी कि अगर मैं किसी के घर जा रही हूँ, कोई दावत है, फैमिली में कोई गेट टुगेदर है, तो आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू ड्रेस हर अप इन अ नाइस आउटफिट. वो बेचारी डर के मारे पहन तो लेती थी, but I don't think she was ever comfortable, and I kept doing it until I came across one of the books that my husband recommended. मुझे खैर उस किताब का नाम भी याद नहीं है और मुझे एक्चुअली राइटर का नाम भी याद नहीं है, sadly. One of my younger sisters borrowed that book from me a few years ago and I never got it back, so I don't even remember what the book called. But that book was written by a female author. It was very nicely written, and she said, more and more you force your children to do certain things when they're younger, they are going to rebel more when they get older or they become teenagers. Because जब वो छोटे होते हैं तो जाहिर है वो हमसे डर जाते हैं, हमारी डांट से डर जाते हैं, and they will do, अगर हम उनको सख्ती से कुछ बोलेंगे कि no because I ask you to do it so do it, they will do it. लेकिन जब वो टीनेजर होते हैं या जब वो कॉलेज में पहुंच जाते हैं तो they're independent, they're grown up adults, they're not going to listen to us as a parent. And she said if your child walks in, I still remember some of the things that I read in that book, with one red sock and one blue sock, be happy. That means red and sock complement each other, because it's a contrast. So be happy. That means your child has put some thought into it. Yes, they're not matching socks, but they make some sense to everybody who looks at them, which means at least they're thinking. So let them wear those. If your children want to go and shave their head, let them shave their head. The hair will grow back. It's not harming them anyway. Similarly, she said if your daughter wants to go dye her hair purple at the age of 4, do it. The color is going to fade away, more and more, like the things, of course, the things that are ethically correct and that are not harming them by any way, let them do it, because then they feel they have some freedom and your parents are reasonable, and they're not just imposing things on them because they want to. So when they become teenager, if you tell them, please don't do this, they will most likely listen to you, because they will know whatever I do, it doesn't bother my parents. Something about kids and their mentality, they want attention from their parents, even if it's negative attention. So when in the teenage years, when they act strangely the most, it's because they want that negative attention from you, because they know they're old enough that my parents are probably not going to give me as much attention as I got as a baby or as a toddler. And now that I'm a teenager, by me doing something stupid or silly and by not following their directions, they are going to give me attention, even if it's negative. They don't, of course, they don't plan it, but that's how their brains work, as per my therapist. So, anyways, I stopped doing that and I let my daughter wear whatever she wanted to wear. So, of course, I'm not allowed to show her pictures. She hasn't authorized me yet. Hopefully, one day she would. Every time I look at her old pictures, it's all she has, like this orange Home Depot t-shirt on, or she has a black t-shirt on that she probably got from some soup kitchen that she volunteered to, and then she would have sweatpants or jeans or shorts depending on her age. And all of her pictures are like that. Now that she's older, she's in college, माशाल्लाह, तो अभी वो जब कहीं बाहर जाती है, घर में तो खैर अभी को वैसे ही है, she's still a tomboy. उसकी घर में अभी भी वो स्वेट पैंट्स और ब्लैक शर्ट्स ही होती हैं जो उसने पहनी होती हैं, लेकिन जब वो घर से बाहर जाती है तो she dresses up nice, you know, dress up like a girl. She's mashallah hijabi now. She wears her hijab, she puts her makeup on, and she makes herself look presentable. And now, of course, she's at the age where people are going to notice her. So एंड वी हैव वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग बॉन्डिंग अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, और शायद उसकी वजह भी यही है कि उसको पता है कि मेरी माँ या मेरा बाप जो है वो इतने अनरीजनेबल नहीं है। अगर हम उसको किसी चीज़ से मना करते हैं तो वो लेकिन हमने उसको एक्सप्लेन करना होता है कि हम क्यों मना कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ वी हैव रेज्ड देम. व्हेनेवर वी टोल्ड देम नॉट टू डू समथिंग, we always gave them a logical explanation why we're saying and why we're not saying, and they understood it. Because kids in this time and age, they know too much. They have way too much exposure. And if we just tell them, oh, don't do this, why? Because I said so, it's not going to work. Never, ever, ever do that to your kids. Don't just say, oh, because I said so. That's not a good enough answer for the kids. You have to tell them, I'm doing it for your safety, or I'm doing it because it's not allowed in our religion. And why isn't it allowed in our religion? Then you have to give them an explanation. What's the logic behind it? They're always looking for logical answers. And mashallah, my children have become wonderful practicing Muslims as they've gotten older. And we have very strong bonding. Is because I think it has something to do with how um, when they were young. Again, that book really helped me. I would like to recommend some books for those who have younger kids, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. There's a series of book. It's called My 5 Years Old, My 6 Years Old, My 7 Years Old, My 8 Years Old. Please order those books from Amazon. They're very cheap. They're like, I think, $5 or $6 each. They're very small, but they give you some tips and tricks. Of course, there is no perfect way of raising children. Every child is unique, and they don't come with a manual, so we have to figure them out based off of their personalities. Try to learn and know your children, but those books, the tips and tricks that you read from those books, you can apply them and see some of them may work and some of them may not work. The books that I read, they really helped me a lot, and when I implemented them on my children's life, for the most part, they actually did work. So it's really not that complicated. You just have to take some time out, read a little bit about them, get to know your children. Of course, have lots of patience and जैसे ना बहुत बर्दाश्त चाहिए होती है बच्चों को पालने के लिए, तो वो तो एक माँ में वैसे ही होनी चाहिए और बाप में भी होनी चाहिए, लेकिन मोस्टली मदर, बिकॉज दे स्पेंड द मोस्ट टाइम विद द किड्स. So, Alhamdulillah, my kids have turned out to be wonderful children, and I hope that if you implement some of those tips and tricks, तो आपके भी इंशाल्लाह बच्चे बहुत अच्छे होंगे. और don't worry too much, don't hassle too much, don't implement things which are unnecessary to the kids. Just because they make you feel better doesn't mean they have any significance in your children's life because they don't care. बच्चों को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, उनको बस फन करना होता है, मज़ा करना होता है, खेलना होता है। वो बहुत छोटे होते हैं, उनकी बड़ी लिमिटेड सी नीड्स होती हैं, उनकी खुशियाँ छोटी चीज़ों में होती हैं। तो जब हम अपनी खुशियाँ उन पे इम्पोज करते हैं तो इट्स नॉट फेयर टू देम। Until next wonderful video, Allah Hafiz.